being quiet. So. Alright, so this is the Gravity Antonion section of our Mega Man X8 walkthrough. All those little sections there, like you saw that, just push start through that whenever you see it. So from here, actually this is semi-important, but not really. Make sure you select 0 first, then X. This is going to be your character combination for the rest of the game. That way you don't have to switch to 0 at the start of a stage. Hooray for small time savings. So from here, we get to explain Zero's flying glitch right away. So the previous stage you got an attack where if you have if Zero's in a jump, he's not in a jump dash, but he's in a jump and you push the special attack button, he gets this sort of buzzsaw special attack in the air and he just kind of hovers there. When you normally use it, he either goes straight down if you don't push anything, or he can go diagonally down. And that's it. Those are your options. This attack has a couple of other nifty features in that it Zero does not flinch while he's using it. So if you know you're going to get hit by something and you don't want to get knocked back, you can actually do this as long as you can recover from it. It does have a funny feature though, and I think this was mostly found on the PC version. If you are holding up and then you push down at the same time, Zero flies up, and then you still get the left-right features of it either way. And the PS2 is kind enough as a controller. You picture a PS2 controller for a moment, right? You have these two methods over here for pushing up and down. So really what you can do is you use either way on these things. The way I've done it is to hold the up arrow on the D-pad, and then you can see this in a lot of the videos. I actually use my chin to flick this down. Now, don't jam that controller into your throat. You've been warned. I don't want to hear about your injuries because you misuse your controller grossly and strangled yourself. But I think the other way to do it is to flick your thumb or to somehow flick something over to hit the stick up, and you can be holding down. Figure out a way to do this. That's kind of the first thing you need to figure out when you're picking up X8 is this move. Because right here, we're 3 stages in, this is the 4th stage, and we're already about to fly through this screen. I think this is not actually even the fastest form of movement in the game, but it's certainly the safest and the most convenient a lot of the time. Notably, Panda stage, I think you can actually go through it slightly faster on the ground, but then you have to manage things. And you don't lose that much time doing this. Certainly, you're going to have the people, the grinders, who are going to go for it. I love you guys. Go for it. But just fly over stuff half the time. So here, right away, you can either fight this guy on the ground, you can figure out how to get X charge shots through here, or you can just do that. So a lot of this stage is exactly as you see it. Little bits of flying here and there, just to kind of speed things along. This room, I want to say I just felt like it was too annoying, because you're either going to fly up and hit this button if you tried to do that when the room was flipped, or you just hit this and you basically get through this room. From here, I think you want just normal jumps and air dashes to kind of get over things. Like I said, from here, things are kind of self-explanatory. Also here, we actually switched to the glaive. You just got to see that first big swipe with it. Let's actually go back on that. The main reason I didn't switch to it right away is kind of a... I mean, I have no measurement, again, on drop frames or anything else, but whenever you hit an enemy, the screen kind of locks up for a second and you see that slash animation. So by keeping the saber out a little longer, I see less of those. Maybe I'm saving frames, maybe I'm making stuff up, but now you at least know why I did it. No other special reason. So right there, you kind of saw zero swung and didn't really hit much. So pretty soon, there's the saber. So here's an important thing to note about it. The sword you kind of saw hit in this very close range area, and everything in here died. The saber, the green streak from it, right, is here. Note this like entire area directly in front of zero, it did not hit. If you're familiar with the 3-5 rule set for Dungeons and Dragons, you might be familiar with the concept of a reach weapon. Like the glaive kind of fits that description. It's going to hit things that are far away from you, but not things that are close to you. Certainly, you could always switch back to your saber if you must kill something close to you, but just keep that in mind. There's no reason to use one or the other specifically most of the time, except the glaive just gets 2 hits on bosses better most of the time. So again, this is just kind of don't hit the buttons. It's a big game of don't hit the buttons. This room, just like it looks, double jump, hit the button. You have to flip it to get that button in the back of that previous room revealed. This room, if you hit this button, these blocks are actually spiked on the other side, and the room gets annoying, plus you have to sit through the room flip animation. So we get to, or you could flip it. If you're looking to, for whatever reason, do this game glitchless without using the flying glitch, you could either kill all these enemies, or you could just flip the room twice. I mean, it does crush them all. And there's the out, and you can see the spikes. This room, I think I saw somebody rather recently go through this specific room by flying down rather than up, and it worked just fine. Because again, as long as you're comfortable with your health, the shots are not going to make you flinch while you're doing this, so you could just go through it. You don't want to fly too far here, because any amount of time you spend falling and not advancing is wasted time. The green buttons obviously flip the room a quarter of the way, whereas the red buttons went halfway. 90 degrees versus 180 degrees. You need to hit one of those buttons 3 times to get through this room and get that top portal revealed. Faster routes always accepted. Have fun. Getting up here, usually I just end up flying up. This room, you have to do something. Oh, wow, that's not the pause button. Sorry. We'll find it. Oh, there we go. So, let's take a look at that room again in full, actually. So, you have the button to flip the room halfway, you have the button to flip the room a quarter way, and somewhere in here there's a portal to actually move into the next room. The trick here is if all you do is push this button and nothing else, these blocks are going to come down and you're going to have a very dead Reploid. That doesn't really look like a skull, but it's supposed to be one. So when you hit this, like I obviously just very casually walked up to it and hit it, I am already holding this button. Just hold the button and you'll just walk right out. Hold left, you just fall out of it, you get into there. This room, there's a very easy route through this room, and it looks like I'm about to take it. I don't know what I actually do here. But if you just push this button and you're kind of relatively centered on it, you'll fall into another button, and you'll fall into another button, and life will be pretty good. You'll actually just get right through the room. You don't have to do anything else. The one thing, here that I would do kind of as a frame saving technique, or maybe it saves like a second or two. I don't know. Obviously, flipping the room here wastes a little time. You can fly to the first button, and everything will be just fine. Like I said, just follow it. The one thing down here, mouse, please. You obviously saw a lot of buttons. I didn't do anything fancy there. I just kind of moved so I didn't hit them. I think you basically want to start hitting left right when you land. I don't know if we can kind of see where I started doing that. How far back did we end up? Too far back. Too far forward. So we hit this button. Do this again. So there you can see them all. It looks like I'm almost on top of the button, but you can kind of see you want to get relatively low to get below the plane of those spikes. And just don't let anything catch up to you. You kind of quickly zip under here. You don't zip, but rush under there. Get up, climb this wall. There is a button at the top of this. So somewhere up here, you want to make sure you hit that portal in the top left before you hit the button that is directly above you. You get another one of these rooms. This one you do have to just fly up. Now, this is worth mentioning. Somewhere in here we have to kind of mention the fact that we're playing a Mega Man game. And so far we have not used weaknesses on bosses. We kind of went straight around here. We actually do have Antonio's weakness. We're not here because we have it. We're here because Vile's here in this room. Get a drink here. So stages have these sort of timed attack rooms, and sometimes they put something besides just enemies in them. In this case, there's kind of a block puzzle. I hate it. I have no desire to ever see it ever again, and thanks to the routing of this game, I never have to. You get here third, and you see Vile here instead. Vile takes the place of this block puzzle, and your life is actually really nice from here. So you take the glaive. You can kind of see sometimes 2 slashes coming out of Vile through these jumps. This is the first instance of we have the glaive, so you can get those double hits. There's really not much going on in that fight. Just like you saw, it's jump and slash and jump and slash. You might get hit a few times. Antonion, fortunately, is a boss that, because we have the weakness, and Antonion's one of the few bosses I would say just go ahead and use the weakness on him. But, yeah, this stage should be pretty free from here. Just do those jump slashes on Vile quickly and get out. These shield enemies, like every shield enemy in every Mega Man game, just hit him on the other side. The button I want to hit is actually straight up here. So I'm actually going to likely slash these enemies on the left side, well, from the right, kind of to the left, and just take care of them. I missed the button. Oh well. The actual thing we're going to is up here. That's the way forward. There's a piece of X's armor in this direction. It's kind of really awkward to get to. You're supposed to use Axel to get there, actually, with some spike-proof thing. But whatever. This room is also fairly self-explanatory to start. A triple slash to start will take care of the guys in front of you. The guy above 0 will you just jump slash. So again, triple slash these guys, jump slash this guy, and you're done. And then you hit that red button right over here. Hopefully I did not just accidentally resize the video too much. Yeah, I actually did, so. Hey, let's go with that. So once it resets everything, you want to kind of get down here. There should be one more enemy. And the rest of this room, I think there's actually a red button here, yeah. So you want to get past that guy. So I think this is the room. This room, there's no real trick I could think of, too. I have seen people brave the spikes with a D-boost, and it seems to work relatively well. This guy is sort of the problem between you and getting through the rest of these blocks. I don't think you can get crushed in this room. So the biggest thing you're doing here is getting onto that block. Once you fall off of it, you can air dash this way, and 0 will just kind of fall down here. You don't want to land on that. Just don't do that. If you do go up there, you kind of have to go up and around to avoid some spikes. It's not the worst thing in the world. Except it is. So this room is actually really easy. Jump over this. Normal jump so you can air dash. You're trying to land around there, and then you're just going to repeat that one more time to get through the room. Jump, dash, jump, dash. Yay! This is another staircase room. It's a little longer than the first one. That little animation you saw from Zero is when you lose control for the boss door. So Antonion, I did say this is like the one boss I won't mind if you decide to use the weakness on. You'll still lose time, but it's actually really easy. His weakness is that nice sword spin attack you've been getting used to this whole stage. You do want to do jump slashes on him. The trick is he can climb up the wall, he can start trying to get away from you, and he actually doesn't gain that many iframes compared to other bosses from their weakness. So especially if he starts getting away from you on the ceiling, just fly up and spin slash him and get it over with. The one thing you might want to try to do, and I kind of alluded to this a little earlier, if you can hit him twice, or which with the glaive, keep in mind, might be once. The spin attack will do 8 damage like you hit him 4 times. Use the you can basically use that to skip one cycle if you use 2 slashes at a couple of points. So you do 4 and then 8, so you've done 12. You're ahead of the game. You kind of see how the math works out. So the big thing he does is that sort of block thing. You can see because the glaive just utterly destroys everything. We are already in business, and he's into phase 2. The sword spin will actually destroy this block here, which is kind of nifty, but you are very likely to hit our friend Gravity Antonion and knock him into that iframe pattern, which you don't really want to do. When he uses this big swing attack, that is the most likely time for Zero to get flinched, for him to run up the wall, and then you do start using the sword spin just because it's better than not hitting him at all. So there, I somehow avoided it, I guess. This is like the god fight. So, congrats on seeing the god fight. This is his desperation attack. I'm not even pausing to explain it. It is the same pattern every time, so you can always do that. So this block, the last block of the desperation attack, always has Antonion underneath it. This one you can, again, destroy with a spin slash if you want to. Really, you want to kind of take advantage of the fact that you basically have free hits on him as he comes out of the ground. And the last hit, you can spin slash him because there's no iframes to worry about. So there's no reason not to. It also destroys that block, make sure you don't flinch. You know, everything else we've been talking about. After this stage, really, since the last stage, with a good run these days, you don't want any more shopping trips until after all 8 Mavericks. So at any point, you can decide to buy more health for 0 or X or refill your life bottles, but that's really it.